fans, boxing fans, boxing fans, boxing fans. And remember, after the 10 count, you out. Suckers.
What's going on, boxing fans, boxing fans? This is Jason Lloyd here with 10 Count Boxing News, coming at you with some great news. What do we got here today, boxing fans? We got some new news about Joseph Parker. Come to find out, he has one, a new training partner, and two, he's got a new head coach, and which is the head coach is Andy Lee, who we know works with Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. And speaking of which, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury is Joseph Parker's new training partner and mentor. Okay. Now, what does all this mean, okay, and why would this be important in this fight? Well, Tyson Fury has two defeats over Derek War Chisora earlier in their careers, and not only is he sparring and training and getting Joseph Parker ready for this great fight, but Joseph Parker is getting Tyson Fury ready for Anthony AJ Joshua. So, man, I mean, this is new news, and it's barely slipped up just yesterday. I just found this out in an interview with Joseph Parker, and he said that he's training hard with Andy Lee, and that he is listening to everything that Tyson Fury tells him. He says if Tyson Fury tells him to do something, he does it. He says if Tyson Fury gives him advice, he listens to it. So, shout out to Joseph Parker for that, you know, that new intel. And what does that mean for Derek War Chisora? Well, what that does mean is not only was this already going to be a tough fight for Derek, you know, being that he's like one of the gatekeepers of the heavyweight division and probably the gatekeeper. We know that Parker is already ranked right down probably in the number 5 zone, and former heavyweight champion, but you know, he's lost a couple of fights, and he needs to work his way back down. Derek War Chisora called him out about a month ago, put a chicken mask over his face and posted him up. It was like, you know, you're scared to fight me, blah, blah, blah. He called him up, taunting him at 2 o'clock in the morning, and was yelling and screaming, talking about, you know, how you wanted to fight, blah, 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 why you ducking, this and that. And it worked. Like a day and a half later, the fight was booked, which is, you know, you got to hand it to Joseph Parker for taking a fight like that. Instead of making him sweat it out or whatever, he's like, dude, it's on and cracking. And like I say, Tyson Fury who is a great friend of Joseph Parker, talked him into training with Andy Lee. And we know one thing about Andy Lee is that he can help Joseph go for that big knockout instead of just surviving like he did with Junior Fa, and he could take him to that next level that he needs to get back on, so that he could be in contention for that heavyweight title shot again. So with that said, he's going to bring him, Andy Lee and Tyson Fury are training Joseph Parker. What is Derek Chisora going to have to do to get over on Joseph Parker? Well, I noticed that he was throwing a punch a lot during the Usyk fight, where it was kind of like a clobbering, coming over the top and trying to land on the top of the head. And I also noticed that Dillian Whyte was doing this against Povetkin on the last fight, and he did it in the first round. And when he landed that that punch coming over the top on the top of the head, Povetkin can never recover from that. And I think that Derek Chisora is going to be looking to do, he's been throwing that punch, that clubbing, you know, like a Thor's hammer coming over on the top and trying to land on the top of people's head to just really disorient somebody and to get them dizzy, and so that take away their legs and their equilibrium and this and that. He's going to have to leave it all out there on the line and give 110% like he usually does, okay? His nickname is War for a reason, is because when he goes in there and throws down, he definitely goes to war against these dudes. This is going to be a great fight, and I think it's going to be less boring than the Fa versus Joseph Parker fight, even though that was still a good fight. I think that this one's going to be cracking. I think that these guys are going to be slugging it out. I think that Joseph Parker is going to be on the next level that he was than you saw him last time. Now, before he fought Junior Fa, Joseph Parker had surgery on both of his elbows, so which is probably completely healed now, and he couldn't throw a punch for a long time. So, you know, maybe a month before he fought Junior Fa, he could barely throw punches. So, look for Joseph Parker to be throwing with all of his power now, and to be moving better, and to be going for some harder punches in return to Derek War Chisora, which we know he's got an iron chin, but he can still be taken out. So I give the edge on this one to Joseph Parker. I think that he's going to get the victory and possibly even a late stoppage on Derek War Chisora on this one. Okay, now let's go over the tail of the tape on these dudes. We got Joseph Parker, the former WBO heavyweight champion of the world, coming in at 28-2 with 21 knockouts. Now, he does hold a great victory over Andy Ruiz Jr. He's currently 29 years old, so he's about in his prime, probably 30 years old. His prime for a heavyweight up to about 34 years old, and he's 6'4". His last fight, 240-pounder with a 76-inch reach advantage. Okay, and Derek War Chisora is coming in at 32-10 with 23 KOs. And he holds a big win over David Price and Carlos Takam, also Arthur Spilka. He's 37 years old. He's 6'1" with a 74-inch reach. All right. So shout out to these two great warriors for making this fight. I can't wait to see this fight. It's going to be a slobber knocker. And like I say, I think that look for Joseph Parker to get back at that world championship level. Again, if you haven't liked and subscribed to this channel, please do. We got a great giveaway on these two Everlast boxing gloves. All you got to do is like and subscribe for that. And again, this is Jason Loya with 10 Count Boxing News. And remember, after the 10 count, you out, suckers! Peace!
Boxing fans, boxing fans, boxing fans, boxing fans. And remember, after the 10 count, you out.